and are Jews with the word evil, and that clicking on these suggestions returned pages of affirmative answers to those questions. Similarly, when Microsoft released a Twitter bot, an AI algorithm, called Tay in 2016, it had to be shut down rapidly after just 24 hours of operation because it had learned to say, "I fucking hate feminists and they should all die. Hitler was right, I hate the Jews." And, "We're going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it." You may well ask yourself, what on earth is going on? Have racist and misogynistic computer programmers run amok in their Silicon Valley offices and created algorithmic monsters imbued with humanity's worst characteristics? Do these unbiased, objective algorithmic results simply reveal the ugly truth about human society hidden in our big data? Or is there something else entirely going on? And is that something else something specific about the algorithms themselves? If so, what is it? And how is it affecting us and society at large? And how can it be stopped and changed for the better? The first step in the process is a better understanding of what algorithms are, how they operate, and how they have evolved since people started imagining machines that could calculate and maybe even one day think. We aren't familiar with this story of algorithmic evolution because, unlike the arts and humanities, scientific subjects are taught in the abstract, entirely devoid of historical, cultural, and social context. When we learn about Shakespeare, we see him placed in the cultural context of Elizabethan England, right down to his pantaloons. This offers us a greater insight into his plays, subject matter, and characters because we understand their context. Likewise, the teachings of toga-wearing Aristotle are placed firmly in the context of classical Greece, and Da Vinci can't be disconnected from the cultural dynamism of the Renaissance. Literature, art, philosophy, music, and so on are all taught in parallel with one another and their historical context. In contrast, the maths and science at the heart of algorithms is taught disconnected from any context, as if the theories and inventions in these areas are entirely abstract, unassailable truths beyond the influences of the historical periods in which they arose. But if we are to examine algorithms for the possible biases they might carry, we have to acknowledge that there are assumptions deep within these procedures that are influenced by the times and places in which they were created. This book steps through those times and places to offer a view on the historical and cultural connections that have shaped the creation of algorithms. The connections are numerous, from the representation of thinking as the if-then rules of Aristotelian logic, to the modeling of uncertainty based on calculations drawn from dice games, through the reduction of evolution to a philosophy of survival of the fittest, to the attempt to capture complex human characteristics like intelligence in numbers like IQ, to the transformation and reduction of human artisanship into discrete tasks neatly divided to fit mass manufacturing processes, through an unassailable faith that free markets generate spontaneous order, to viewing the living brain as a simple synaptic computer, to a staggering reduction of the subtle meanings of language to the bit transmissions of information theory. Each of these simplifications arose in a particular historical and cultural context and has a direct connection to the conception and design of algorithms that now operate all around us today. Just as algorithms have emerged from various historical and cultural contexts, they are also a product engineered by people. At some point, a human being touches almost every part of an algorithm, whether it's finding the data set the algorithm will work upon, manually tagging and classifying some of that data, deciding the parameters that control the algorithm, determining its goals, and evaluating its performance. I am one of those people, an engineer by training,